Alright guys, we're ready to go ahead and put on our timing case cover. So what I did is I simple greened where the gasket goes, then I took some rubbing alcohol, went over that on both the case and on the motor. I've got a little color code here, so the long stud goes where the LS is, the short stud goes where the SS is. The blue pieces of tape are the long studs, and if there's no tape, it is a short stud, short bolt. So we've got that down. I did a couple dry runs as far as putting this thing on goes, and I'll put one hand right in the hole over here. My other hand will grab outside of this piece of plastic, the metal there that's sticking out. So first I'll line up the plastic, and then I'll end up kind of swinging the whole cover to the right and line up the bolt holes and see if I can get something in the top right over here in the case. I do have a couple of these guys. I'm not sure I'm going to need them or not, but I wanted to keep them handy. These things are awesome for putting stuff together when you just need to tweak a hole, an eighth of a hole or so, just to get a bolt through. So I want to make sure they're handy. I've got a 10 millimeter shallow deep extension, and then I've got my torque wrench already set to 18 foot-pounds. My plan of attack is to, smear the RTV all over the gasket, place the gasket on, and then just let it sit for a while, checking every few minutes. And when it starts to tack up, that's when you go ahead and pick it up and put it on. Put it on the motor. While I'm waiting for it to tack, I'll probably just put some. I will put some blue Loctite on the bolts. Not going to do any sealant in there. I haven't seen any videos nor mentioned in the manual of through holes, so we're just going to go with some blue Loctite and call it a day. I will record the first half of this. If I have time to move the camera, I've got it set up. Maybe I can, see if we can catch me saying some swears or something. But my goal is to recognize that this is a somewhat stressful thing for me, perhaps not you, and just take a few deep breaths. Don't rush anything, just go with the process. We have the steps down, just follow the steps and everything's going to be okay. So let me get you guys set up and we'll get started. Wow, this stuff is so sticky. Oh my goodness. Ooh, and it smells too. I gotta stop that because I'm just gonna spread it all over and make a mess. Still sticky. Getting close. Good. 13 minutes. Okay guys, I am feeling pretty good about that one. Not a big deal to smear the gasket. Initially I thought I may have put a little bit too much on, but I don't see a ton squeezing out. So, you know, I think we're going to call that good. I mean, it just really seemed like it made a really nice, you know, the squish when I was closing things down. I think you guys saw, but what I did is I put it on the way I said, is I lined up this part down here first, and then I kind of twisted it over, and the gasket was so sticky it basically stayed in place. And then I started with the 2 studs, and then I think I did the long bolts where the blue paint is, and then I did the short bolts. You know, the tape really did help me out. You know, I'm sure it saved me a little bit of you know, fussing around looking for the right bolts and figuring it out. What I did is I left the seal in until I had all the bolts in, so that hopefully that seal worked to kind of center the seal on the crankshaft. And then I went back, like I said, I started in the middle and did 2, and then went up 2, then back down and did 2, and basically a circle, I guess is what you'd say. And when I did each of them, I got this Sharpie mean streak. I'm not sure, it's a permanent marking stick, so now I'm going to have pluses on my cover forever. But I did do, I did 1 line when I initially torqued them, then I went back and torqued them all again and made them all into pluses. And I did notice there were a couple that, you know, moved the second time around. They, you know, they went like another 1/8 to 1/4 turn. And then I did one more round where maybe one moved like a 1/16 of a turn, where I just went around the outside just to triple check I didn't miss any. And as soon as the torque wrench gave way, it was a very gentle pull, just enough to see that the torque wrench gave way, and we're good. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Let me just zoom in for you. So if you look right down here, see the squish, and there's a little bit more squish over here. And then, you know, you can just barely see some squish up there too. I mean, it's not, there's some too. You know, I don't have a ton, which I feel good about. I'm just, you know, hoping that I don't have a ton on the inside of the motor as well. And then looking down, so there's our crankcase wear sleeve with our new seal, and then the yellow there you're looking at is what's the dust seal. And again, I don't really see anything that doesn't look right in that. So hopefully we're going to be okay, you know. And then the one thing I forgot to mention was I did time the gasket, and it took it about 13 minutes. I would say it's the upper 70s today, maybe the low 80s. It's not super humid, I don't know, but it took around 13 minutes for the RTV. You definitely did notice it, you know, when it, you know, I touch it like every 5 minutes till 10, and then around 10 there was less RTV on my fingers, and then by 13 it was, you know, there was barely any, and it was starting to get kind of sticky too. So I'm sure that's going to depend on temperature, humidity, and all that stuff, but wasn't really a big deal. I don't want to say that too soon, because, you know, we might have to do this all again, but if I do it again, I'm learning something along the way, and maybe you guys are too. So we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Take care.